James Creedon. James, you're going to start us off with a rather public disagreement between Jacques Chirac and his wife over who to support the party leadership and the presidential election.
We love first couple disputes, public spats in France, in the French media. There's been more and more of them lately. And Jacques Chirac and Bernadette do not agree on who to support for the UMP party's leadership battle. Nicolas Sarkozy and Jacques Chirac famously were not friends back in the day when they were both active politicians.
So you're going to tell us all about the pillow talk.
Exactly. And well, indeed, it's Bernadette Chirac is telling everybody about the pillow talk. She was invited on to Radio Classique, classical radio station. And you see, the thing is, Jacques Chirac has publicly supported Alain Juppé. Now, Alain Juppé is the former foreign minister, the former, you can see him there alongside Jacques Chirac. He was his prime minister at one point as well, if I'm not mistaken. In any case, what you have here is Bernadette Chirac publicly disagreeing with her husband and saying, do you find him warm yourself, Alain Juppé? When he says hello, he offers you his hand and he doesn't look at you, or he looks behind him or to the side. It's not exactly the warmth you might hope for, said the former First Lady. This was after a previous radio appearance on Europe 1 radio earlier in the week, where she said he doesn't attract people, friends or possible voters. He is very, very cold. So I think it's fair to say that the former Prime Minister and the former First Lady don't really like each other. Alain Juppé said that he was pained by these words of
Sounds
Bernadette
like he might
Chirac.
need to go to the Bill Clinton School of Charm. That elbow grip and that eye contact.
Indeed, he might need a little bit more of that. For Bernadette's, I think she prefers Sarkozy's more demonstrative style of doing politics. So there you go. It certainly has got an awful lot of people talking about that disagreement between the Chiracs.
And the political cartoonists have been having a field day with all of this.
That's right. Well, you see, Jacques Chirac, indeed, it was Bernadette voted on his behalf because he was having health problems in the 2012 election. And it was thought at the time, indeed, Chirac alluded to the fact that he was probably going to support François Hollande from the political left, from the opposite end of the political spectrum. So it caused an awful lot of furore, in particular because Bernadette Chirac had publicly thrown her weight behind the Sarkozy re-election campaign. So here you have Bernadette about to wheel Jacques down the stairs in a bid to get him to withdraw his statement of support for Alain Juppé. Elsewhere, you have Jacques asking for a bottle of beer from his wife, or Maman, as she is often referred to on the satirical show Les Guignols, which is a Muppet show. In any case, she says, why don't you ask Alain Juppé for a beer, Jacques? And elsewhere, what else do you have? You have Plantu, the cartoonist for Le Monde, also indicating that all is not particularly calm and peaceful in the Chirac household. And that's another cartoon showing Chirac saying, well, I voted for Hollande in 2012 and he was elected, so if I vote for Juppé, maybe he'll be elected in 2017. Here in the TV5 Monde Twitter page, you see a doctor saying, well, it appears Jacques Chirac's memory is back and doing well, because he indeed
did have health problems.
He had health problems, and there he is targeting Nicolas Sarkozy with daggers.
And his better half is very clearly keeping him on his toes. James, let's move on now to some very uncompromising words from the head of the John Lewis, the British chain store. We've all been chatting about that today. France is finished, he's declared.
Gosh, he certainly didn't mince his words, did he? France is sclerotic, hopeless and downbeat, and it's finished. This, by the way, as he is trying to launch the French version of the website in France. So it's certainly ironic to be expanding your business into the French market and at the same time then to be saying that France is essentially finished.
Insult your potential customer base.
It's not the most wise marketing strategy. A spokesman for John Lewis, which is sort of like it's a department store essentially, said that he was simply being tongue-in-cheek and that he didn't mean the comments and that it was just being ironic. He did then later apologise for those remarks about France being finished, but it led to all sorts of comment, in particular in the British media. What do French people in London? Of course, London has a huge population of French expats. What do they think about these comments? So if you scroll down, you have Greg Métos, who says, for me, it's true. All of it. That's why I left France. No one cares. They just complain all the time. Further down, Vincent and Sandrine saying he is wrong to say that French people don't work hard. We work really hard. It's true that the economy is not in great shape, and we do not favour businesses and companies as much as the English, but France is absolutely not finished. Now, also in The Guardian, they did quite an interesting comparison, graphic comparison between France and the UK. These comments coming, of course, from a UK executive. And you can see that actually, it's not working hours, a much shorter working week in France. Some would say that contributes to the economic problems, but others would say better quality of life, unemployment benefits. In any case, they sum it up in the bottom of the article by saying if you change the focus a bit beyond top-line economic indicators and have a look at how the French compare on a number of measures relating to cost of living and lifestyle, you can see things might not be so bad over the Channel. So it's a debate, quite an old one.
The pros and the cons.
Indeed. You can sum it up, broadly speaking, as French bashing, and it always generates comment in the media.
It is a sport in and of itself. James Creedon, thank you very much for bringing us MediaWatch. Time now for Focus. Just weeks ago, the result of Brazil's presidential